Listen, men and women who have problems communicating, and if we had to put a title to this, it would be My Mouth is Killing My Marriage. Because so many people are getting into trouble because they're speaking the wrong words from their mouth.
You cannot take it back. Once it's out there, it is said.
You know, they say that sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Well, that is a lie. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will kill you.
Yes, they will.
Words will do what sticks and stones cannot.
Yes.
And so that's why you have to be careful with the words that you speak. Even the Bible says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So you can speak life to your situation, or you can speak death to your situation.
Wow.
And it's so deep because, Danielle, the scriptures even say that our mouth sometimes could be like open graves. And so we're killing our marriages, we're killing our relationships, we're killing the intimacy that we have with each other because of what we're saying.
And it builds up, and there's no apology that comes, and therefore there's no forgiveness that comes. Not that you need one to do the other, but you have these relationships where people are married to each other with unforgiveness, bitterness, no apologies, and you're operating in these dead relationships.
Yes. Yes, and what we find is that when we're dealing with women who struggle with these communication issues, usually they fall into one or two categories, right? They're called either makers of men or breakers of men.
I'm a maker.
Now, a maker of men, let me explain, is someone who knows how to edify, who knows how to build that man up, who knows how to encourage him, giving him the emotional support that he needs. Even if that man is not where he needs to be, she knows how to speak to the potential of that man and breathe life into him, right?
Yes, because every man on the inside of him has a seed, and you wives, it's your job to water that seed. That's why God created you, to be his helpmate, okay? So there's some soil in there you're supposed to be tilling, but if you pour in all kinds of garbage and trash onto that seed, you don't water, it's dry, you're gonna kill that seed in that man. And now what you're saying, it's sort of like you're prophesying his future, because you have not spoke life to him, but you've spoke death to him. And you find a lot of men are just broken, right, in their relationships. They don't want to talk. She says does all the talking. She handles the money. She handles the everything. And he's just sitting there broken and quiet. He don't talk much. He don't say much. Isn't that something?
That's very, very true. So I encourage every woman to be a maker of your man and edify him and build him up, because when a man has a woman who supports him, who encourages him, he feels as if he can conquer the world. But if he doesn't have his woman on his side, it really affects him. And that's when we get into what we call the breakers of men. This is a woman who knows how to tear a man down with her words, and who knows how to say the right thing in the right way to really get to that man. Some men today are walking around impotent, nothing physically wrong, but the words that came out of her mouth were like daggers that cut into the heart of that man's ego and have just completely destroyed him. And there's so many men walking around today with no confidence, no self-worth, no value, because they've been told you're not a man. Because if you were a real man, right, that's the typical thing that we hear. If you were a real man. And so it's interesting how so many women know what a real man is, but we're still trying to figure it out. Because many of us came from households where we didn't have that example. Or if there was a man there, in most cases it wasn't always a good one.
That's so true.
So we're in a search for significance. We're still trying to find out who we are, and we don't need our wives, our women, the ones who are closest to us, beating us down. We need that encouragement and support.
Absolutely. And to defend the women, you know, a lot of us didn't grow up in homes where we saw our mothers, you know, pouring into her husband and treating a man the way that you're supposed to. And so we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to figure out our gender roles. So, you know, there's a lot of confusion going on within marriages, just not knowing what we should or shouldn't be doing.
Yes. Now, I will say this. Just as women have this issue, men have this issue as well. And there are so many women today. You know, we just had a guest on who was talking about domestic violence. But there's so many people who are in emotionally violent relationships, or what we call verbally violent relationships. And so many men have spoken to these women, so much so that they literally have no self-worth, no self-esteem. They feel trapped in their relationship. They feel as if they think about leaving this horrible relationship, their lives may be at risk. And so there's a whole lot of unhealthy interactions between men and women today.
It's absolutely true. I grew up in a home that was exactly like that. Total, no communication, violent. It was just a horrible scene. And I think a lot of us, unfortunately, are growing up in these environments, but we need to take responsibility as we get into our own relationships and learn the proper tools on what to do to operate in our relationships properly.